Hello, 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 hello. Mwah. One more hello. Hello, my beautiful people out there in YouTube land. How are you this wonderful Wednesday? Hump day, they call it, right? Midweek. Yes, it is indeed Wednesday, June 17th, 2020, and you are tuned in and watching Omega Live with JJ, Woman Without Borders. Absolutely. Mwah. Thank you so much. I thank you for tuning in to this program. You could have been otherwise, but you have chosen to spend the time with me, and I appreciate you. Absolutely. You, my fellow students of knowledge, are like me, right? We are students of knowledge, and we know that knowledge means nothing if it's not shared and applied. So right now, press that share button and share this link with your friends and family and invite them to come and watch this program with you, right? Absolutely. And remember, guys, to subscribe to the program, you have to subscribe to Omega News, right? Absolutely. Thank you for my thumbs up. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. I know you enjoy this program and you look forward to it every day, right? Except on Saturdays. Oh, hello, bless up my darling. I see my darling cousin is online, all the way from New York, and she is spreading the word in New York. Love you, my cousin, darling. Yes, indeed. Bless up yourself, my cousin. Bless up yourself. Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in. Absolutely. Yes, guys. So I have a lot of information to share because you know that's why I'm here, right? To give you information so that you can know what's happening in Jamaica and around the world, right? After all, my program is I'm a woman without borders. So I'm not limited to Jamaica. Absolutely not. I'm all over the world. And so I have some international news for you today too. Absolutely. So let me not waste any more time and let me get straight into the program. So Jamaica now has 162 active cases of the coronavirus disease COVID-19 after 19 patients recovered and were released yesterday, Tuesday. 29 patients remain in the hospital with 2 critically ill. We had no new case of the coronavirus disease according to the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Yep. And right, so this is accurate up until 3 p.m. yesterday. 3 p.m. today, we'll have more information, which I will give to you tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. So they did only 55 samples were done yesterday. And that brings the total samples to 16,947 with 16,278 negatives, right? Not much has changed, so I don't have much information on my big data people. Yesterday's information remains the same. Only thing new that I will tell you is that we now have 152 persons who are in isolation and 1,195 persons who are in home quarantine, geofenced. It's not funny, guys. It's not funny, but it's what it has to be, right? I mean, if you agree to return to our bracelet and or bracelet. I think it's a combination of both, depending on, yeah. So of course, with the 19 new recovery that we have now, our total recovery has gone up to 449. Indeed. Yeah. Now, I gotta give it this one, guys. I don't have much information on it, but as I get more information, I'm expecting that by tomorrow I should have more information on it, right? However, I'm going to give you, as I get it, I give it to you. So this was a press release that was issued by the Health Ministry yesterday, Tuesday, June 16th, 2020. The Ministry of Health and Wellness regrets to advise that a traveler passed away shortly upon arrival to the island. The deceased, a 62-year-old Jamaican woman who arrived on the Delta Airways flight from Atlanta, USA yesterday, collapsed in the immigration hall of the Sangster International Airport. The Ministry of Health and Wellness personnel on site made resuscitation efforts. However, the female was pronounced dead at the Cornwall Regional Hospital at approximately 2:36 p.m. Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. The Honorable Christopher Tufton, has expressed his most profound regret on the passing of the traveler and has shared his condolences. Arrangements are, the flight's been coming in for Monday, right? So yesterday, this Jamaican woman came into the island on the Delta flight from Atlanta, Georgia, and she collapsed while waiting to be processed at the airport. She collapsed. They rushed her to Cornwall Regional Hospital, and I could have told you the outcome before it happened. God, I have no faith in that hospital. You all know that, right? I have no faith in the CRH at all, at all, at all, at all. So, even if she has touched, I'm so sorry. I am really sorry. It's not a funny story. Being able to take bad things make laugh, you understand? That's what I'm doing. Yeah, this is what keep me sane, guys, because I'm telling you, if you don't do this, you will go crazy based on the things that happen in this country. Yeah, that process we have been hearing a lot since Monday that the process is a very long process. It's a 6-step process that you have to go through. So if you are 65 and older, and this person, she is actually younger than 65, she's actually 62 years of age. So it's not only being 65 and over, and over. I mean, clearly, it could also be a situation where she also had underlying conditions, comorbidities. As I said, as I hear more, I will let you know. As I hear more, but whatever the circumstances were, she was waiting to be processed at the airport, and it is a very long process. Like it's a 6-step process. She collapsed at the airport at 62, and by the time they took her to the hospital, they tried to resuscitate her and took her to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, and of course she died. Our condolences and prayers to the family and friends of this 62-year-old woman whose name has been withheld. Yeah. So, continuing with the news, and the body of a man suspected to have drowned was found along the shoreline in the vicinity of the Princess Margaret Hospital in Lyson, St. Thomas on Monday afternoon. He has been identified as 51-year-old Norbert Lewis, also known as Juki, of a licensed address in the parish. It is reported that at about 1:45 p.m., children were playing in the area when they stumbled upon the body. Yeah? The police were subsequently alerted, and it is reported that Lewis was taken to the Princess Margaret Hospital Sunday evening to be treated for what the police described as an underlying illness. Family members say he was taken to the hospital for observation, and when they returned Monday morning, they were informed that he was treated and released. So I'm going to give you the story in context. I'm not finish reading a story. So the police say there was no indication of foul play. Okay, so here's how I understand this story, guys. Okay, so here it is that this gentleman, he was found and taken to the hospital, right, where he was basically put on observation, treated, and released. Yeah, for whatever condition they were treating him for. But he was released. Excuse me. By the afternoon, the same Monday, he was found dead, not far from the hospital, on the shoreline. So one can speculate if one chooses to, right? We don't have all the information. This is a developing story. So as I hear more, you will hear more. But all I can tell you is basically what was said, and then you can come to your own conclusions. He was treated at the hospital. More than likely they give him medication, right? He was released Monday morning. By Monday afternoon, his body was found on what appears to be, a drowning incident. Yeah. The police have said, according to the report, that there is no indication of foul play. They have not said whether they will continue an investigation. But as I hear more, of course, you'll be the first to hear. What I hear, you'll hear. And I can't comment more on a story such as this because I've not heard the other side of this story. I'm only hearing this information and I have not even heard if an investigation is ensuing, right? However, like I said, when I know more, you will know more also, right? Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, okay. So let me continue with the news, guys. Still have more information to give to you. All right, so excuse me. I don't know if you saw. Did you guys see there was this video going viral on YouTube. It was sent in a group that of which I'm a part, and it was also sent to me privately. It was a direct message to me of this police officer who was actually using some what looked like what do you call those things that they use to beat it, a type of hammer to destroy a cart at the Linstead market. It looked like in the footage. So let me give you the story. Put things in context. Okay, I like to put things in context for you so you can understand what is going on. So this is the story surrounding that video that went viral. Yeah, the mayor of Spanish Town, Councillor Norman Scott, has assured the public that there will be an investigation into a video showing members of the municipal police destroying a vendor's cart in Linstead, St. Catherine. The 39-second video, which shows municipal police hammering at the cart and spilling food items, was extensively shared on social media and led to much outcry. Quote, anyone ever wondered why a car is confiscated, but a cart is destroyed, even if they're both breaking the law? Opposition Senator and Vice President of the People's National Party, Damien Crawford, tweeted, while other social media users decried the abuse of power. Excuse me. Today, a very unfortunate event occurred in Linstead, where some municipal police officers were caught on video. Operative word, right? Caught on video. Demolishing a vendor's cart, and it is now being circulated on social media. Please be assured that as the mayor of Spanish Town and the chairman of the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation, I have already requested from the team of officers a detailed report of what occurred and also invite the vendors to meet with me at the earliest possible time, Scott said. I assure the public that this matter will be looked into thoroughly, and I crave your patience as we go through the investigating procedure to get to the bottom of what transpired. Meanwhile, in a response to calls on social media for the police to act, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF, clarified that the municipal police are not members of the JCF. JCF wishes to clarify that a video being circulated on social media showing municipal police in an altercation with a vendor are not members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the statement read. Both administrative and operational responsibility of these agents reside with the municipality. Okay, so here it is now, guys. And can I tell you something? This is not the first it has happened. I have actually witnessed, or almost witnessed, I should say, because when I came on the scene, it had already occurred, right? Something similar that occurred. And this has happened again, and this time it was caught on video. I'm telling you, thank God for technology. Because, these things are not new, guys. There's nothing new under the sun. But because of technology, now they are coming to fore, right? We are now seeing what has been happening, right? All along. And because there was no evidence, it became a he said, she said, and who said was going to win that argument, right? But now we have it captured on video, so we can see the atrocities that are meted out to our citizens. Now here it is. I don't know what took place. I don't have the details, guys, of the altercation between this municipal police and this vendor. Yeah. However, regardless of what happened, what gives anybody the right to tear down a vendor's cart, right? Like the mayor said quite rightfully, we confiscate a car when the car, right, breaks the law. Or not, the car can't break the law. I mean, the use of the car. You understand what I'm saying, right? So why is it though when it comes to a vendor? Okay, so let's say the vendor was operating illegally. Why not confiscate the cart then, because I've always said, guys, these guys should have license plates, because some of these carts, they drive on the road like they're cars, so they really should have some license plate. But the point is, guys, confiscate the cart, but don't destroy the cart. That can't be right, regardless of what the person did. And then the other side of the coin is this now. Here's another developing story, guys, because this is, I don't know, because I think our journalists in this country, they're lazy, our journalists are lazy, because some serious investigation. Can I tell you how many cases are broken worldwide because of some good investigative journalism? But our journalists in Jamaica didn't just sit back sort of, fat and eat up all the food, and they don't really do much investigating. I'm sorry to say, you understand? They are part of, I'm a part of the fraternity now, and I'm a part of the group, but I've just started to practice journalism, even though I've had my, my qualifications for a long time. I mean, I did it way back then I had a long break, and then I came back in March. Yeah. But all of my cohorts out there working for the different media houses, right? Come on. You guys have got to do some investigative journalism, A lot of things need to be investigated. And I'm going to get to some more in a few, you see. But let's continue with this story, right? So I want an investigative journalist to take on this particular story and investigate, because here it is. What interested me or intrigued me about the story was the fact that the JCF came out and said, we're not guilty. That's not there. Those police are not members of the JCF. So I want to understand how the process works, guys. Wouldn't you like to know? So the municipal police, the word said municipal police, you're saying that they are not a part of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. They are under the municipality, is what you have said. We want to understand how that works. I personally do not understand how that process works. Do you understand that process work, guys? Wouldn't you like to know? Absolutely. So I would like to know, because it seems to me that if it is that you have police on the one hand, different from police on the other hand, based on who is from the JCF and who is from the municipality, then we would like to know where the line of demarcation is, and how do we know who is whom? We would like to know who is whom, wouldn't we? Absolutely. And so we would like some more information about this, and we'd like some our journalists to, get off their hiney and do some investigative journalism into this particular story, especially because we want to get to the bottom of this one. You understand? We want to get to the bottom of all stories, yes, but this one intrigues me because of the fact that I did not know that the municipal police were not part of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. This was news to me. And now that I've heard, I don't want to go and do the investigation. I want you to go and do the investigation, okay? Yeah, because you're getting paid to do investigative journalism. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was very, very unkind of that particular officer, though. Very unkind. I don't care what that vendor did to you, sir. That you had no right to go and dismantle the vending cart like that. That was so not nice. And guys, yesterday I wanted to give you a story, but because I run out of time, because it's a 1 hour program, you understand, and there was so much to tell you, and I had to give my 2 cents too, so I couldn't get to the story that I wanted to give to you. But guess what? It is in the news again, so I'm just gonna put it together, amalgamate it, so to speak, right, and give you what they call the mashup, of this particular story. So, probably I should give you. Which one should I give you first? All right, let me give you the latest, and then I give you the backstory to it, right? All right, so Minister without portfolio in the Minister of Economic Growth and Job Creation with responsibility for the environment, the Honorable Daryl Vaz, has come out in strident defense of his intention to lease lands in the protected area, that is Aldywell, calling the managers of the park hypocrites and citing the presence of existing cabins. In an interview with the Jamaica Observer yesterday, Vaz said the Jamaica Conservation Development Trust, the JCDT, not to be mixed up with the JCDC, yeah, not the Jamaica cultural. We're not talking about those are what to do with the Oh, which reminds me, I didn't even tell you about the festival song competition, which is on at the moment. But I'll get to that because it is not something going, something coming, and we still have some more time to talk about that. There's some interesting developments on that particular story. I will get to concerning the festival song competition. But we're now talking about the JCDT, not the JCDC. Development Commission, the Development Trust. Yeah, so it is the Jamaica Conservation Development Trust. They are the ones who manage Hollywell. Yeah, they manage the Blue and John Crow Mountains National Park on the government's behalf. So, according to Vaz, they had no moral grounds to object to him leasing the project. Listen to this. He says, right, that they had no moral grounds to object to him leasing the property. And I know why I'm saying it, but I'm going to tell you. Let me give you a story. If I wasn't a minister, and you know me, there is no way I would accept their objection because it smacks of hypocrisy. Listen to what the gentleman said. Listen carefully to what the gentleman said. If I wasn't a minister, and you know me, right? You know me time. There is no way I would accept their objection because it smacks of hypocrisy. It's a do as I say and not as I do approach, he charged. They got $20 million in 2018 from the TEF, that's the Tourism Enhancement Fund, right? And they built an enormous 2-story structure, a visitor's lodge, and a cafe. What I want to know is if they are a government lessee, like I would be, and they are building on the land, like I would, right? Why would they have an objection to a citizen doing the very same thing? The minister disclosed to the Observer that the lands he had sought to lease were to be used for Airbnb rental. Quote, I would build a log cabin and rent it out for Airbnb like everybody else is doing up in the hills, Bass said. The National Land Agency, the NLA, had offered to lease 7.7 acres of land at Hollywell in the National Park Buffer Zone, a protected area which was inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List in 2015. The bid document specified that the purpose was for a single-family dwelling. The agency withdrew the offer in the face of public backlash yesterday and objections raised by the JCDT, and Vaz himself said he had withdrawn his application. The Blue and John Crow Mountains National Park is spread over 41,198 hectares of natural forest. That's over 100,000 acres, by the way, for those who want to do the quick calculation. Yeah, over 100,000 acres. There are also 7,000 hectares of forest reserves immediately adjacent. It is a biodiversity hotspot for the Caribbean island and home to over 1,000 species of flora and more than 500 species of fauna. It features hiking trails, and I've traveled up that, as I can tell about those hiking trails. I did a hiking from Mavis Bank to Hollywell. Let me give you the story. I will get told my 2 cents. Okay, so it features hiking trails and recreational areas, complete with cabins for overnight stays at Hollywell, Portland Gap, and the Blue Mountain Peak Trail. Income from those activities support conservation efforts, which include monitoring and evaluation of plants, animals, and water, reforestation and invasive species control, as well as education in surrounding communities. But Vaz contended that there was no difference in the JCDT's model and his now shelves plans. What does that have to do with the precedents that they have set of building in the park? He replied, when the Observer pointed to the JCDT's mandate. My proposed use of the leased land was in keeping with the already existing environmentally friendly Hollywood Park type cabins, he maintained. If they hadn't built these cabins and this enormous wooden structure in the park, I would agree with them. The minister argued that it did not anticipate the JCDC objection and also criticized the Jamaica Environment Trust, JET, yesterday for supporting the entity on its stance. JET supported them in their objection, Where were they when JCDC were putting up a $20 million structure in 2018? Regarding news of the NLA's offer withdrawal, JCDT Deputy Chairman Adam Hyde said yesterday that the board welcomed the decision. Quote, "We welcome the withdrawal and we hope that this is the last because we don't believe there should be any private leases in the national park. And regarding the existing leases, we think the right thing should be done. They should be rescinded and the lands put back into developing the forest, especially in light of climate change," Hyde said. Excuse me. The Blue and John Crow Mountains National Park is protected under the Natural Resources Conservation Authority Act, the Forestry Act, and the Jamaica National Heritage Trust Act. Now, let me let that one sink in for a second, guys, before I give you my 2 cents on it. I'm going to let that one sink in for a second. Yeah, so social media, as you know, for those of you who know the story, has been burning up with regard to the news about this particular incident with the Minister Darrell Vaz. Yesterday, I was going to give you guys the story because it broke. Yesterday when it broke, and this is basically his. This came after in his response to what was happening before with regard to social media, and the JCDT expressing their objection to him actually doing this. All right, so I was going to give you the story yesterday, but like I said, I ran out of time, so I did not get to give it to you yesterday. Now I wanted to find that story to give us some more context concerning. Okay, so this is what was actually in the Observer yesterday prior to this the rescinding of the offer, right? Government is seeking to lease. Let me start again, guys. Listen to me carefully when I'm giving the news, right? Listen carefully. Remember, I give you the news so you can make informed decisions, right? All right. Government is seeking to lease a 7-acre plot of land at Hollywell in the Blue and John Crow Mountains National Park, a protected area which was inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List in 2015. Bid documents obtained by the Jamaica Observer indicate that the property is being offered for the purpose of a single-family dwelling house for a term of 25 years at a rate of $120,000 per year. Let me break it down for you guys. That is $10,000 per month for 25 years. Okay. But the Jamaica Conservation Development Trust, the JCDC, which manages the park on the government's behalf, is not amused and has written to Commissioner of Lands Elizabeth Steer outlining its strenuous objection to the move. The trust alleged in its 11-point letter, copied to the de facto Environment Minister, the Prime Minister Andrew Holness, and a string of cabinet ministers and agency heads, that a government minister is an interested party. Okay, so me and my data. Nice. Excuse me. That's about all I'm gonna give you on that, guys. I'm having my data, my phone and my memory, my storage capacity. It's just acting up right now. So, anyways, so let me give it to this. Let me give you a story. All right. So basically, here it is, the Honorable. And I have to ask this question at this point in time, guys, and you tell me what you think. And give me a thumbs up and let me know what you think about it, or give me a comment in the comment box. Should they scrap this title of Honorable attached to these public figures' names? What do you think? The Honorable Darrell Vaz, the Honorable so-and-so, the Honorable so-and-so. What is honorable about them that they are given that title Honorable? the only thing is time that they scrap this archaic title, because by and large, most of these persons, they are far from honorable, aren't they? All right, so let me give you my 2 cents. Having said that, here it is. The story first broke that the government was seeking to purchase, to lease this property, right? This is protected property, heritage property, Jamaica heritage property. The point is that the tourists are supposed to come to the country and visit, this particular area in the Blue Mountains, right? Where it's protected, and enjoy nature. You understand? The lovely birds and the lovely plants and all that good stuff. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Now here it is. We have a minister in the cabinet who has bidded and won the bid to lease the property, 7 acres out of this 100,000 acres, right? Property, to build a single family house, a single family dwelling. And the idea is that he was going to rent it out, right, to tourists. This was his personal plan, not to do with the government. So the story that the government looking to purchase is not the government. You understand? But you see how it is cloaked. This is the idea. I'm showing you. Guys, I want you to see what is happening here, You understand, why it is I say we need some serious investigative journalists in this country, who are fearless, who don't take bribes, who are not one-sided in their biases, right? Who are looking for the truth and accountability, right? Here it is now that this gentleman, and you heard that story I gave you. Since then he has said where he has seen where there's a conflict of interest with him being a minister, with an oversight for that portfolio, and then turn around to lease the land to build on it, to do Airbnb. Conflict of interest, yeah? And he didn't see it before. You see the moral compass of the people who are serving us, guys? You see how low it is? Wrong. And to point it out to you that there's a conflict of interest in what you're trying to do. And here it is. The NLA was going to lease it to him. So their moral compass is low too, huh? The National Land Agency. Now, again, I'm telling you now, okay, this government ran on a platform of poverty to prosperity. That was their platform that they ran on. Now, I believe at $10,000 a month lease is very doable for the poor man, don't it? So why is it you're giving this particular deal to a person like Daryl Vance, who can afford to pay much more than $10,000 per month? I would like that deal, as a matter of fact. Okay, I have experience. I used to manage a villa, so I can definitely manage an Airbnb up there. So if it is that you're going to lease land for the establishment of an Airbnb, you might want to lease it to me. I'll take it from you for $10,000 per month for 25 years. Absolutely. Why? What is the criteria? I would like to know, what is the criteria? What is the criteria for you leasing the land to a person like Daryl Bass as opposed to leasing it to somebody like me? Wouldn't you like to know, guys? We're all citizens in this country, and it's one thing COVID-19 has taught us, and we seem not to have learned the lesson. You see, in a pandemic, money has no use. Money has no value. We're all the same. You understand? That's what COVID-19 has taught us now. You see, anyone gets COVID-19. Doesn't matter how rich you are, how poor you are, what status you have in this life. And statuses are accorded to persons by other people. Yeah, we're the one who give people status. Yeah, we're all one in the sight of God. And here you find a situation, yeah, where a minister in the cabinet, and this is not the first that's happened, guys. Not the first, not the last. And you heard how the gentleman was vehement. You understand? To say, calling the people hypocrite, the JTDC hypocrites. You understand? Because they have built an establishment, big infrastructure according to him. and doing basically the same thing that he wants to do according to him. Oh my God, I am telling you, we need some serious oversight in this country. We need some serious investigation into the affairs of these people who are representing us. We need it. Some of them moral compass is so low that they can't differentiate between right and wrong. Huh? These are the people who are leading us. These are the people we vote for and put in the offices to represent us. And they all say the same. Even the ones pointing fingers, do as I say, but don't do as I do. You see? Mm? Guys, we're all on this journey of life that God has placed us. You understand? But it's called personal growth and development. I tell you, we all have to improve on ourselves. You see, and it goes to show you sometimes, I tell you all the time, one does not have to come out and say, oh, I'm a Christian or I am a church goer. Church goer, I use the term loosely, you understand, because we are the people, I say all the time, the church is people, it's not a building, you understand. But and we all say we have a relationship with God and we call God, 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 God. Sometimes I'm thanking God that I am not God and God is only Him alone could be God. Because sometimes the way people call God and say God, 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 you wonder, right? But it goes to show, if you don't have a relationship with Him, then you are in a position where you will do what this minister has done, right? Because the moral compass, how do you have morality? Because if it's not illegal, well, it doesn't seem to be illegal. We have not heard any news, and I'm not even sure if it is illegal or not. To be honest with you, I do not know the law that much, right? But I'm hoping that the AG, Attorney General, will come shed some light on it and to say whether or not what he has done is actually legal or illegal. But we know it's definitely immoral. And how do you, quantify or qualify, morality, right? That has to do with God, yeah? That's spirituality we're talking about right there, yeah? Mm-hmm. So you're gonna have to have God within you, right? To have your moral compass high, for you to recognize that, you don't do things like this, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm not sure if it is illegal what he did. I mean, in any case, the application has been withdrawn, so there is no breaking of the law there, unless the deed are gone through. If it is illegal, I don't even know about that part. But I would love the AG to qualify that one, and give us an update on that as to whether or not where the law says about that particular case. But we definitely know it is a conflict of interest. We know that it's a conflict of interest because you can't be oversight, in a situation like this as a minister and then turn around and you same one when you come and lease property to earn an income. You're already been paid as a minister. And now you're going to earn an income and you probably have your own private business otherwise too, which is fine. You have your private business, but you can't, use government property and earn money off that. That is totally immoral. Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of, um, oh boy, I tell you, I in Jamaica, we are something else too as Jamaicans because we hmm. And I'm not saying corruption is not worldwide because you only have to go if you go onto Mr. Christie's, Greg Christie's web Twitter account. He's always posting corruption news that's occurring all over the world. So we know corruption is happening all over the world, guys. But we can only speak of Jamaica because this is where we live, right? Jamaica land we love. So we have to address our whole situation here because then say, passing Christian in pitney fuss. Not true. Absolutely. So I can't talk about the corruption happening worldwide. I have to talk about corruption happening in Jamaica. And my God, man, so much. It is just it's like you turn over a rock and you see all these ants scattering. You ever see that, right? Or all these insects scattering at the top of the rock. This is what is happening here, right? It's like the more every day, just more and more corruption being uncovered, and by people who you expect, from whom you'd expect better, yeah, or who you'd expect better from if you're an American, yeah. So, continuing in the same vein, guys, this other news in the same vein. Expenditure of $10.6 million by the Caribbean Maritime University CMU for computer equipment, which the Auditor General and her team have not been able to find at the campus, was an issue of contention at yesterday's meeting of the Public Accounts Committee, PAC, which questioned the hiring of a logistics company to supply the devices. The committee has indicated that it wants the CMU's Information Technology Department to appear and answer questions about the university's deal with the logistics outfit, which is not registered with the National Contracts Commission. Right? So here's another case of a company winning a bid. They're not on the list of registered. They're not registered with the National Contracts Commission for the provision of computer services, and whose capability to do so was not determined, but they won the bid. According to the finding of the Auditor General's special report on the CMU, and they've been in the news for quite some time because of all the different, continuing the news. According to the finding of the Auditor General's special report on the CMU, for the period of the 2016-17 to 2018-2019, there was no proper recording of the inventory for the multi-million-dollar payout to the corporate area-based logistics company. So the company got paid. Auditor General Pamela Monroe Ellis told the PAC yesterday that her auditors had not been able to reconcile the machines at the campus with the invoices presented. So she's looking for the company and she can't find them. Quote, "We could not relate the machines that we saw assigned to those which we had an interest in, so we cannot attest for the devices. CMU has indicated that the machines are there, and they may very well be there, but we're not in a position to confirm because the requisite information that would allow us to do so is not available, and what is available is conflicted information. The purchase included 15 laptops and 2 tablets, among other computer equipment. According to the report, some of the expenditures included 4 MacBook Pro devices valued at over $500,000 each." You heard that, guys? Furthermore, the report concluded that despite having access to the enterprise version of the software suite, CMU purchased 3 individual licenses from this company at a cost of $256,000 per annum. The audit team said its own checks revealed that the software provider sold the licenses at an approximate cost of $60 each, reflecting a difference of $231,900, which is each would have been $25,000 each. Guys, I mean, what can I say? I don't even think I want to say anything concerning this. To be honest with you, I don't want to touch CMU with a long foot pole. Not even with a long foot pole, I don't want to touch CMU. You understand? I mean, that was what got the previous education minister fired, right? Or I think he resigned before he could have been fired. Yeah. Guys, I'm just going to continue with the news because I can't even say anything about that one, to be honest with you. But you just see what I'm talking about, right? You guys, you see what is happening in this country. Corruption. You see why we need companies like the Integrity Commission? I tell you now, that gentleman, Mr. Christie, has his hands full. I don't know how he's going to manage because he might have to employ more staff because, I mean, the amount of cases that needs to be investigated right now because of corruption. Welcome to Jamaica. All right, guys. So I got to continue the news because I have to give you the international news. So I don't want to. That's another reason I don't really want to spend more time in terms of actually giving you any more 2 cents on that. But is it something coming? Not something going. It's a continuing, developing, ongoing story. So I have more time where I can give you 2 cents on it. Don't worry about it, not getting a 2 cents on it today. Yeah. I want to get international because I want to give you this one. where is it? Because this was this is like hot topic. This is like a topic, and it's definitely I'm on the topic of corruption, so I have to give it to you first, and then I'm going to give you the other one. All right, so I'm going to get to US. I'm going to start with Israel, one of my favorite countries in the world, Israel, and one of my favorite prime ministers in the world, Benjamin Netanyahu. We call him Bibi, but they call him Bibi. Um, he has been in the news for so long due to the same corruption that it is, them say if there's always an ounce of truth in the biggest lie, if not go so near, if you go so. All right, so Israeli anti-corruption group Movement for Quality Government has petitioned the High Court to investigate Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in a deal that is being described as the biggest corruption scandal in Israel's history. All right, so I'm gonna give the story as I got it. Excuse me. Prominent anti-corruption group Movement for Quality Government petitioned the High Court of Justice Tuesday, that's yesterday, to investigate Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as part of the high-profile submarine graft probe, claiming it had information linking the Prime Minister to what many have described as the biggest corruption. Case 3000 centers on a possible conflict of interest. Here we go again. Conflict of interest. And here, conflict of interest is criminal. A possible conflict of interest surrounding the multi-billion shekel, they use shekel in Israel, right? Shekel procurement of military boats and submarines from German shipbuilder ThyssenKrupp in 2016. Prosecutors allege Israeli officials were bribed to push a massive deal for the vessels worth hundreds of millions of dollars. The investigation, which wrapped up this February, has already ensnared several close associates of Netanyahu, although the premier himself was not a suspect. However, according to the Movement for Quality Government, Netanyahu is also implicated in the case and must be questioned as a suspect. The group did not release the information it claims to have, saying it does not wish to interfere in the investigation it hopes will be opened. And the story continues. You can read the full story online. All right. Corruption. This man has been in the news for so long concerning bribes. Oh, I should have said that to you, because right now, let me give you a little piece there. The Prime Minister is currently on trial for bribery, fraud, and breach of trust in 3 other criminal cases. He has, of course, denied all the charges that are laid out against him. But let me say, if you no go so, you never go so. So many times they have been called with corruption and bribery and fraud. Yeah, those cases are ongoing, and as I hear more, you will need know more. So let me get to the one I want to get to. Following weeks of national protest since the death of George Floyd, US President Donald Trump signed an executive order on policing Tuesday, that's yesterday, that would encourage better police practices and establish a database to keep track of officers with a history of excessive use of force complaints. In Rose Garden, Trump stressed the need for higher standards and commiserated with mourning families, even as he hailed the vast majority of officers as selfless public servants and held his law and order line while criticizing Democrats, of course. Reducing crime and raising standards are not opposite goals, he said, before signing the order while being flanked by the police. Trump and the GOP have been rushing to respond to the mass demonstrations against police brutality and racial prejudice that have raged for weeks across the country in response to the deaths of Floyd and other Black Americans. It is a sudden shift for the Republican Party, and one Democrats are watching warily. That shows how quickly the protests have changed the political conversation and pressured Washington to act. But Trump, who has faced criticism for failing to acknowledge systemic racial bias, has continued to emphasize its support for law enforcement, even after meeting in private Tuesday with families of the victims. At the signing event, he railed against those who committed violence during the largely peaceful protests and made no mention of racism. Trump's executive order would establish a database that tracks police officers with excessive use of force complaints in their records, and it would give police departments a financial incentive to adopt best practices and encourage correspondent programs in which social workers join police when they respond to nonviolent calls involving mental health, addiction, and homeless issues. And the story continues. Again, ongoing story, another ongoing story. Okay. Yeah, I've heard calls for the police force to be dismantled. I mean, that is irrational. I'm not even going to justify that with a comment because you know that it's irrational. You can't dismantle the police force. That is irrational. Direction, personally. That's just my opinion. You have to have a database for police brutality and for persons, definitely, I mean, who are using excessive force. Of course, you need to have that. So you can establish a pattern and you can see, and those persons, they must be stripped of their pensions who are doing these things, you understand? These police must be rooted out of the force and they must be stripped of their pension. No pension for them. Let them go and work otherwise and earn their funds. Yeah, but not out of the public's curfew. Yeah, that's the only two things I'm going to give you concerning that right now. I only have a 1 hour program, right? And I got to give you another one. So, American sprinter. Yeah. Christian Coleman was suspended on Wednesday, which is basically, it is today, Wednesday, it happened today, Wednesday, but because, the Europe is 8 hours ahead of us. So, this based on when the news came out by the Associated Press, right, it said Wednesday, meaning today. Yeah. Okay, so Christian Coleman was suspended by the Athletics Integrity Unit for missing doping tests. The AIU updated its list of athletes on provisional suspension to include the 100-meter 100-meter champion. One second. Where's my story? Come back here. So, the AIU, sorry, I said it already. Coleman has been temporarily banned from competition until a final decision at a hearing conducted under the World Athletics Anti-Doping Rules or the Integrity Code of Conduct. Coleman had a previous whereabouts charge dropped last year ahead of the World Championships and was a favorite for the Olympic gold in the 100-meter ahead of the Tokyo Games. Those games have been postponed to next year because of the coronavirus pandemic. Coleman wrote on Twitter that drug testers were unable to find him December 9th while he was shopping at a nearby mall for Christmas presents. That was his third infraction in a 12-month period. Coleman asked why he didn't receive a phone call when the testers were unable to find him, saying he had received calls every other time he was tested. Quote, I think the attempt on December 9th was a purposeful attempt to get me to miss my test, he wrote. The AIU said a phone call wasn't a requirement and that it usually asks employees not to call athletes because that could undermine the testing program. Of course, common sense, yeah, you would think. The AIU added that under World Anti-Doping Agency rules, proof that a telephone call was made is not a requisite element of a missed test, and the lack of any telephone call does not give the athlete a defense to the assertion of a missed test. End quote. Some of Coleman's earlier mistests were not with the AIU, but with the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency, whose own handbook for athletes says phone calls are usually reserved only for the last few minutes of a time slot and to confirm the unavailability of the athlete, not to locate an athlete for testing. Athletes are required to list their whereabouts for an hour each day when they must be available to be tested. A violation means an athlete either did not fill out forms telling authorities where they could be found or that they weren't where they said they would be when testers arrived. Yeah. And I don't even think I even need to even comment on that one either. I mean, seriously, how are we going to call and tell you that, we're going to test you? We don't do that. Okay, then. All right. So that defeats the whole point. I mean, seriously, isn't that common sense, guys? You would think. Okay. And I don't know if you heard this one, guy. I'm going to give it a piece. North Korea blow up an inter-Korean liaison office on the side of the border. It happened Tuesday. It happened on Monday. So I didn't give that to you yesterday. So I'm giving it to you today because I have a few minutes. So I'm giving it to you today. Yeah. In an explosive rebuke to Seoul that appeared designed to draw maximum global attention with little immediate risk of war. The move represented North Korea's most serious provocation in years and follows an escalating series of threats against South Korean President Moon Jae-in's government. The state-run Korean Central News Agency said in a statement that the office, the most concrete achievement from a series of summits between the two Koreas in 2018, was tragically ruined with a terrific explosion. In Seoul, Moon convened its top security advisors and put the country's military on higher alert. South Korea's presidential office said later that it will respond sternly if North Korea continues to raise tensions. Yeah. Bob Marley said, everywhere is war. Me say war. Yeah. Okay, guys, that is biblical also, right? There shall be wars and rumors of wars, and so we're not surprised by that. All right, guys, that's it for you for today. Yeah. Oh, there was one more thing to give. I didn't give it to you. Do I have time to give it to you for a quick second? I don't know if I have time to give it to you. Let me see. I have a few minutes. Okay, I'm gonna give you a few minutes of it. Not much. Not much. I'm gonna give you on it, guys. But just a few minutes of it. Let me see if I can find it. First of all, if I can't find it, I'm gonna get it anyway. And I might give it to you tomorrow. It's not stale news, so I can give it to you tomorrow if I can't find it now. Okay, but I found it. So what? Oh my God. I'm telling you, never a dull moment. You don't know what happened a while ago. I can't even tell what happened a while ago. Oh my God. Never a dull moment around here. Yeah. Okay, so the United States said it will nominate President Donald Trump's top advisor for Latin America to lead the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB, right? Which has never been run by an American in 60-year history. In all its 60 years, it has never been run by an American. Mauricio Claver-Carone, who is of a Cuban descent and currently head of Western Hemisphere Affairs at the National Security Council, is known for his long-standing anti-Castro activism and firm opposition to Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin said in a statement Tuesday that Claver-Carone would help steer the region through the worsening coronavirus pandemic. Quote, the IDB is at a critical juncture as the region faces growing challenges to economic growth and sustainable development, particularly in light of the global pandemic, he said. South America has been badly hit by the COVID-19, with the World Health Organization WHO warning earlier this month that medical facilities across the continent are at a risk of being overwhelmed. To date, Brazil has reported more than 45,000 coronavirus deaths. The IDB, the main source of financing for the development of Latin America and the Caribbean, was founded in 1959. So it's important to us because that's where we get our funding, a lot of funding from them, yeah? Developing story, guys. It has not yet happened. And as it happens, you will know because I will let you know, right? Absolutely. That's it, guys. That's it for today. That's it for today. I hope you found the program enjoyable, informative, and edifying. If you did, remember to share the link. Knowledge is nothing if kept to yourself. Knowledge must be shared. It must be applied. Absolutely. So share the link. Absolutely. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my friends and family. I know you're out there watching. Dor, thank you, darling. Love you. Yeah, I know my father all watch it religiously unless he that I had a doctor's appointment. Dad, thank you. Oh, Dina, no, oh my God, do you mind if I call your name? I hope you don't mind my calling out your name. Yeah, yeah. My aunt in Mandeville, she's also watching. My cousins and my other family. I know they're all watching. And oh, my good friend, Saloni, yes, I hope your eyes are better because I know you went to the eye doctor today. So I do hope that you are feeling much better today. Thank you for my thumbs up. Yes, I appreciate you. I appreciate you all. I thank you so much for tuning in to this program. I will see you again tomorrow at noon when we do it all over again, right? Remember, guys, I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So you can go over there and like, comment, and share, okay, this broadcast with your friends and family. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate every one of you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Remember, guys, to do all the good you can to all the people you can for as long as you can in any way you can, okay? Yeah, that's a little Methodist creed that comes out sometimes. Yes. Have a blessed night, my cousin. Yes, you too, my darling. Absolutely. And until I see you tomorrow at noon, God willing, as always, I say, stay blessed and be a blessing. Love you. Bye.